Let's go on to the coming attractions next. Being that this is, for us, it's a short video. Okay. This is upside down from what you would think of because the south is up. Uh, and it would be flipped over, it would be right. They've poured these three amongst the columns there. Those three are poured. This one is poured. I'm pretty sure this is going to be the next one poured, and this one gets Sahara in it, and the last corner up will get Sahara in it. We're wanting to make a watertight room because we can't have any condensation on the walls. Electronics goes in here, and it has to be below condensation. Now, inside of this concrete wall is where the array has to fit. This is the rebar that's in the wall, for the surround, and the two black lines here are the inside and outside of the concrete, and then this reddish. There's a couple of lines on top of each other. There's a red one and a blue one or a black one. Anyway, that's the width of the footer. From the purple to the red is the footer. And the whole purpose of the footers is to balance this wall here. So, the array fits inside of this black line. So, if you take your black line, this is the black line down here. Right there he is. I can draw my array out. Now, in this case, I drew the array laying flat. The array actually gets tilted up, so it's not as wide as it looks. It looks on this drawing that it didn't fit inside of the surround that it has to fit in. If I slid this down right to that wall, it would fit in there, but it'd only be showing about 2 inches of clearance. And actually, there's more like what you see on the edges over here. It's 9 or 10 inches. I should have turned this all around. Okay, if we draw the array in, it goes between this vertical wall and the blue vertical wall. And this blue tubing here, that's what the panels actually lay on. These 2x3 tubings. And the scheme is a 1/4 inch 8x8 plate. This is showing an 8x8 column, but the columns are actually 11. I just want to make sure that I cleared the metal plates, so I just extended that down to have something on the drawing. But I'm thinking they're around 11 inches, 1.5 inch of concrete cover. Then you get a piece of pipe in here. That's a piece of 4-inch pipe, and then a 6x6 plate. So the two blue plates and the pipe are weldments welded together. They get a U-bolt around it. Got those at Granger for $3.47 a piece. They're zinc plated, but we're going to paint them, so zinc is plenty good enough to get it together and paint it without it getting any rust. This bolt here was a height adjustment. It's on the drawing, but we may just put pieces of steel pipe here, one on either side. We can cut these vertical pipes on site and make all these plates of pipes that's on exactly the same height. Anyway, we get a 3-inch pipe mounted here. It goes the width of the array, like 3 joints end in for 60 feet. And then we get a U-bolt there and another little plate. And that little plate has a strap that runs up over top of the 2x3 tubing. We're doing this slightly different now. Let me see if I got a... Might be right here, might be one of them. Okay, this is metric dimensions. Okay, this is 1/8 inch thick, 2-inch wide, 3-inch tall tubing. Sitting on top of the tubing, there's a piece of flat bar that this gets rotated. The tubing is shown on end view, but it actually runs the other way. So on top of the tubing, there'll be a piece of 1/4x2 flat bar, and that just spreads the load on this tubing. Also, the U-bolt that goes around the pipe and stuff comes up here and goes through that top plate. You got a plate on the bottom that the tube is sitting on. That's that 6x6 inch quarter plate. This piece of 3/16, 2x3/16, and it's got a couple of 3/8 bolts that run through this and through the one that's not in this drawing. And that ties the tubing to the little plate. And then sitting on top of these, it's two pieces of inch and a half by 1/4 angle iron. Shown, what's the drawing doing? Shown right here is where the edge of the panel will be. In other words, it won't go up this curve. So the panel will be up against that radius of the angle iron. And actually, we're going to put a piece of truck inner tube underneath of this, which will isolate it. The space between this is 7/16. That way we can run a 3/8 bolt down through a top cap between the two angle irons, and basically this bottom plate, the holes won't be over top of the tubing. I can show you that in a minute if I remember to do it. But the angle irons are continuous, the whole width of the thing. The truck inner tube is just lit so it can slide back and forth. And this is a piece of flat bar running down the whole length. So anytime that we have a support for the solar panel, it'll have a bolt through these two caps, and that compresses this inner tube a little bit. The bolts aren't real tight. They just have to have steel lock nuts so they don't back off. Anyway, this line that you see right here, well, it's all tied together. This line that's on this edge over here, that just shows where the panel would be. And the 3 centimeters is the distance between the actual panels. So that's 3 times roughly 3/8 of an inch, a little over an inch gap. And in the middle of that gap, you've got this 3/8 bolt. I have really not done a detailed drawing on that. I'm planning on it, just haven't done it. Oh, anyway, if we take this this array and put it in here, and then slide it down like 8 inches clear of this wall, it'll be 8 inches clear of this other wall, because it's tilted up 14 3/4 degrees to match latitude. And the other thing about this drawing was we're going to use our large window form for an air vent, and I think our large door form for the door that gets into this whole thing. We're going to make some new window grills. I haven't got up with Benji Boy yet. But we put dragons on the front gates. And I think we're going to use maybe dragon heads on the air vents. There's one on each end, and there's one here in the middle of this little shop for daylight. And this, what's called third pour and part of second pour, that's where all the inverters and batteries and the second combiner box and all that stuff goes. So that has to be watertight. There's only a door on one end, on the northeast corner, but there's a vent on the east wall and on the west wall. That's so we can't build up pressure underneath of the array in strong winds, which could lift the whole thing out off the ground probably. And I know there's more to this. Where are we doing here? Okay, this is the purpose of this drawing, was to figure out what rebars we needed to order. So we have over here a 90-degree bend that ties the front and back wall together, runs right around the corner. We've got one there, one here, and one here. This one you can't do that because there's a door, so it's going to have this. L shape, which gets all turned around until it faces the door. These rotated, these mirrored and then rotated 90 to the right, minus 90 degrees. So we have the blue bar here in the corner, and then we take and lay out two full-length 19-foot 6-inch bars, and then the same length that would be on the other end. Gets a 32-inch overlap. If I made them 16, I'd end up with a 32-inch piece of leftover bar. And I'd just soon tie that wall together more than, because it's a very long straight wall. 60 feet of wall, it's only 7 inches thick. So we're gonna just not try to salvage anything off those bars. We're just gonna leave them full length. Easy to do, don't have to measure anything. The side bars, there's a full-length bar in the middle and the two blue bars. These are the same blue bars that we used in coming up the back wall off the floor. They were made to be this. So rather than redesign the thing or reinvent the wheel, I'm just going to have to make more of what I stole from them to put in the floor. We were short of money, and we just robbed those bars to pour the floor. I'm not going to make a detailed cut list for the parts that goes under the window and against the door. The straight runs, they can just measure it with a tape measure and cut it. Okay, that's the preview of coming attractions. Be rebar. And this up here is, I had somebody ask me what this was. I wrote a comment, I think. This is showing the pours. 1 pour, 2 pours, 3 pours, 4 pours, 5, and 6 pours. Worst case, we would do 6 pour days to build all the building of this thing, minus the roof. So if you have 6 pour days, you have a restocking sand and gravel is 2. That would be 18 days start to finish for a building. And it'll be poured concrete. Now, actually, we're going to do better than that. We're going to pour, we'll probably pour this corner and that corner the same day. The reason that you can't do more than that is the number of forms that we have. That's all the forms we got. And you have to cap off the forms, because when you pour this form will actually be touching that, and it will be touching this corner form here after that's done. So the first pours, they're open-ended, and you put a plate across the end. 14 inches by 48 is the shape of it. And it's got some holes for the rebar and some holes that match the bolts in the form. Anyway, you have to cap it off to pour the first corners. And we like to pour corners because that makes them more earthquake-proof. Resistant, never proof. You get a strong enough earthquake that nothing stands. Though at that point, we'll be able to stand on what's left of our building and look over what used to be the town, because it'll be flat. Every house, municipal building, the basketball court, it'll all be flat on the ground time time it gets strong enough to damage this building. So we'll be the last man standing. Okay. Anyway, this is drawn out as pours, but we can, because this and that isn't connected, we can pour two opposite corners, the other two opposite corners, and that'll give us a surround. And then we can pour these two that butt against them, because we don't need an end form. That wall will be the end form. And then the piece in between. And we're going to leave this piece out for a good while till we're ready for the roof, just for access. Okay. That's enough. Say a little prayer for all the people that are COVID and who've lost family members. And have a nice day. Bye.